Welcome to Sir Fritz Social Studies class in Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. And in this video recorded discussion, we will focus on our topic in intersubjectivity. Let us have the discussion and let us begin. Philosophy teaches that to be human is to live in relation to others. We cannot grow, understand ourselves, or pursue truth in isolation. So, therefore, the saying goes, no man is an island. So, we need the others. Okay, so for us to grow, for us to understand ourselves, and also for us to know what is truth. Remember, philosophy is love for wisdom. We seek wisdom because we want to know the truth. Okay, all this wisdom that we learned along the way in our journey in life will lead us to what is really true. And respecting differences and avoiding the imposition of our will on others lie at the heart of intersubjectivity, the foundation of authentic human relationships. So, in philosophy, knowing everything about life and seeking what is true, what is the truth all about, has something to do with how we interact with one another as a person. So, knowing the truth lies in our relationship with one another. So, therefore, we cannot learn the truth or know the truth without the others. So, therefore, the others have helped us, okay, and lead us to what we believe is the truth. Okay, so we become a building blocks to each other. We become ladder to one another as we move closer to the truth. And the core theoretical concepts of intersubjectivity and its philosophical ideas has something to do with Edmund Husserl. Okay, according to Husserl, human consciousness is not isolated, but always in relation to others. When we say consciousness, it is how our senses are aware or have connection to our surrounding. So what we see becomes our consciousness. Kita tag green, kita tag blue, kita tag circle. That is part of our consciousness. Kung we feel cold, hot, or shaky, then therefore that's part of our consciousness. We hear good sound, loud sound, okay, any types of sound, and that is part of our consciousness. Okay? So our consciousness is not isolated from ours, but also with others. So kung nakakita ta green diha, the others will also see it the way we see it. So therefore, we agree on each other nga, huy, nakakita ko green. Nakakita sa ka green? Oh, green sad. Oh, therefore, our consciousness align with each other. It becomes our reality. Okay? Kaya nga naman, parihas man ta og nakita. Okay? We become conscious about it. Okay? We understand ourselves better through interaction with other person. So we know about ourselves because others have told us about it. Uy, ni daot lagi ka, ni tambok, ni taas, ni gamay, unsa pa na diha, nindot lagi mong sanina. We become aware of ourselves. Okay? We become conscious about ourselves because of others. Okay? Because we cannot see directly what our face looks like. Okay, we can only see others' face, but we cannot directly see our face. Okay, So therefore, we need the others to help us build the knowledge, the idea, the wisdom of who and what we are. And because of others, we become closer to what we truly are. Mingon sila ni nindot lagi mong batasan ron, ibuutan lagi ka. Then therefore, we become closer to who we truly are as a person. Okay, because of others. And that's according to Edmund Husserl in the idea of intersubjectivity. So, yes, let's have a video.
You are not just a self. You are a self in relation. Your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, they were words. You are not just a self. You are a self in relation. Your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, they were shaped long before you had words. This is intersubjectivity, the truth that we become through others. Intersubjectivity means that your mind isn't isolated. It's always in dialogue. Who you are, how you see the world, what you value, these are co-authored by family, friends, teachers, lovers, even strangers. The I needs a you to be fully real. When a baby smiles and someone smiles back, that's the first spark of intersubjectivity. We learn who we are by being seen. This continues all our lives. A glance can wound, a kind word can heal. We exist in mirrors, not in isolation. Phenomenologists like Edmund Husserl and Maurice Merleau-Ponty saw intersubjectivity not as optional, but essential. Even our perception of the world is shared. We don't just see, we see with a culture, with a language, with other minds in the room. Philosopher Martin Buber said, "Some relationships are I-it. We treat others as objects, but real connection is I-thou, when we meet the other person fully, without labels, without ego. In those moments, something sacred awakens. Isolation isn't just loneliness, it's a distortion of the self. When we're cut off from others, we forget how to mirror, how to be real. We become echoes in an empty room. Intersubjectivity reminds us to thrive is to be in relation. We live in a world divided by opinion, race, gender, politics, but intersubjectivity says you don't lose yourself by connecting with others. You find yourself. Every meaningful conversation is a place where two worlds touch. You are not alone in your head. You never were. You are in the other just as the other is in you. That's not weakness. That's what makes you human.
We also have the I-thou relationship from Martin Buber. It is a genuine relationships. Okay? Genuine relationships happen when we treat others as thou, a subject with dignity. When we say dignity, a subject with value. Okay? Meaning there is something important about it. Okay? That is dignity. It is the value. Okay? So that person has dignity because it has a valuable element to it. Okay? It could be the looks, the attitude, the language, the skills, but that is considered to be important, a very valuable thing. Okay? Not as an it, an object to use. So therefore, according to Buber, genuine tinud-anay nga relationship happens when we see the significance of others, when we see its beauty, its importance, its usefulness, okay? But not as an it, not as an object that we use, okay? So therefore, it is not something that we consume. Okay, that is genuine relationship. We do not consume the others. Okay, for personal gains or someone's gain. We just accept it as who and what it is. Okay, maayo siya mudagan pero hinay siya mulangoy. And then we accept it. Okay, because that is what makes that person valuable, so significant, so unique. Okay, but if we use that person as or see it as an it, maay siya mudagan pero di siya kamaumulangoy, and therefore ato na lang siya gamiton didto, dili lang nato siya apilon diri. So meaning we can now discriminate a person. So therefore a genuine relationship, okay, tinud-anay nga relationship is always about letting the others be who they are and not something that we chained up and use. Okay? Genuine means true or very clear or honest. Okay? And relationship is about connection, okay? It's about being able to relate to one another, that you see something in common, okay? Something similar, okay? And that is relationship. So, respect means valuing people for who they are, not for what they can do for us. Okay? Especially now that we live in a consumerist world where people usually pay and get and pay for what they believe they deserve to have. Okay, so it's very challenging, okay, to have this genuine relationship in a consumerist world. Okay, however, we as human beings can only relate and understand ourselves when we see others, and we need to be genuine so that we become closer to the truth. Let's have a video.
For Martin Buber, when we have those I-thou conversations instead of I-it conversations, we're connecting to some higher power or divine mystery. Whether it's our full attention to a human being or our full attention to something else in nature, either way, Buber unlocks for
Allows
us
us
the enchanted
to
power of
connect with one
conversation.
another through conversations. And conversations need to be authentic, genuine. Also, under intersubjectivity, we have the idea of the face of the other from Emmanuel Levinas. Okay, so this is very significant because of the idea or the word face of the other, or the word face. Okay, so the presence of another person calls us to responsibility. The moment we see the face of that person, it triggers us to be responsible. Okay? So therefore, the moment we interact with one another, we get to see each other's face or the presence. Okay? It made us to be responsible. Why? Because we become a reflection to other. Their face reminds us that we must not harm or impose, but respond with respect and care. Why? Because what we do to others is will eventually happen to us. Okay? And that is where the golden rule started. Do to others what others want to do unto you, and don't do to others what you don't want others to do unto you, because we become reflection to one another's. Okay, and that reflection requires us to be responsible. Okay, magsulti ka og di maayo ana niya, then that person will feel bad about itself. Okay, then mubawas po jag storya nimo, or mubawas storya sa jag bati sa lain, then it becomes a cycle, a chain of bad conversation, bad impression. So, kay bati man mo perspective sa isig usa, then it makes you not closer to the truth, kay naghimo-himo naman mo storya. Pero once we see the goodness and tell the authentic perspective about each other, okay, then it creates a cycle, a chain of leading us to the truth kung unsa gyud tinuod. Okay, so that is why, according to Levinas, we have the responsibility to face one another. So let us have the video.
As Emmanuel Levinas famously said, the face of the other is an epiphany. This insight captures his belief that our moral responsibility begins with encountering another person, seeing their humanity and recognizing our duty to them. Levinas is best known for his work on ethics and the concept of the other. He argued that true ethics arise from our face-to-face encounters with others, challenging us to move beyond self-centered perspectives and embrace our responsibilities toward others. A modern example of this philosophy is Mother Teresa, who dedicated her life to serving the poorest and most vulnerable, embodying the idea that we must respond to the needs of others with compassion.
Epiphany.
Like Levinas's other, she saw each person as an individual deserving of care and dignity.
The face. So, therefore, Levinas wants us to understand that we see ourselves in others. Okay, the moment we reach out to others is also the moment that others reaches out unto us. Okay, so the moment we connect with them is the moment they connect with us. And every time we do what is good, okay, and telling what is good, then that goodness will come back to us. Okay, and our dignity, our value as a person lies on how others sees it and value it as well. So di man ta kaingon nga maayo ko ug di sila moingon nga maayo ko. Okay? So therefore, our dignity, our value as a person lies with others. We become comfortable about ourselves when others become comfortable about us. Okay? So ingananan na niya siya ang concept sa epiphany or phase according to Levinas. So, another core theoretical concept and philosophical ideas about intersubjectivity is the idea of acceptance of differences. Yes, we are different. Okay, from the voice, from the physical figure, okay, from the way we think and understand things, we are very different. Okay, we have differences in culture, belief, and personality, but these differences enrich our human interaction. So, therefore, there is something to learn from one another. There is something to explore from one another because there is that diversity, that differences. Okay, and that differences makes us bond and becoming interested with one another. Naalagi ka na ako wala, unsa di ay na. So because of that conversation class, that exchange and curiosity with the differences we have, the diversity we have, okay, it made us connected with one another. Okay? But we also need to learn to accept that differences. Acceptance does not mean agreement with everything. Nga, red na lang gid tanan or blue mao na gyud ni siya nindot. Okay? But recognition of dignity. So, acceptance is recognition. We understand the value of others. Again, katong tao nga kusog mudagan, we appreciate it for its ability to run, not because of its inability or di kamao mulangoy. Okay? So, because of that differences, we become unique and interesting to one another. And that is intersubjectivity. And another core theoretical concept and philosophical ideas under intersubjectivity is non-imposition. So authentic dialogue respects freedom. Okay? And forcing one's view on others destroys intersubjectivity. True respect allows understanding and cooperation. So there is non-imposition on things. If you believe running is better than swimming, okay, keep it for yourself. Okay? But do not impose it on others because we are uniquely created in our own ways. Okay? So we have our different understanding of the world. Okay, and we cannot be uniformly the same, okay, with our god-given talent or our skills and knowledge. Okay, so there will be non-imposition. Why? Because if we impose our beliefs and understanding to others, we hijack the others of the ability to think for itself, and also we remove its value. Kita na may naghimo sa value sa uban. Okay, siya as a person, then therefore wala na siya ability to construct his or her own value, his own dignity, his own unique identity. Okay, because we are now writing the story for that person. Okay, so that is non-imposition. And we have here practical applications. So we have here a situation and its responses. So first situation, a group discussion. Its negative response is that insisting only on one's idea. Okay, so in a group discussion, you insist only on one's idea. Okay, but an intersubjective response will be listening and finding common ground. Meaning, before a single idea is accepted, we must first allow others to display their idea. Okay, meaning we open up many windows and doors to come in. Then we decide which door to pass or window to go through. Okay, that is intersubjective response. Next is the practical application on cultural differences. In a negative response, we have discrimination or stereotyping because of the differences. So, i-segregate na sila, kay ingon ana na sila. Kani kay mga taason, kani kay gamayon, kani kay ana. So, i-segregate, i-discriminate. Okay. But an intersubjective response will be appreciating diversity as a source of growth. Okay, so meaning we accept the identity of others. And because of that differences, we allow those others to develop and fulfill their capacities. Okay, and as a group, we grow uniquely. Not aligned with one another, firmly aligned, okay, but we grow with others. Okay, we grow differently with others. Next situation is the online exchange. In a negative response, there will be trolling or insulting, but an intersubjective response will be respecting opinions and responding calmly. So we accept their ideas of others and respond also in our unique way. Okay? So ningon dito, roses are red. Yan ay ni comment, no, all roses are blue. But then, as an intersubjective person, mingon na ka, yes, it can be red, but also it can be blue, depending on how it was developed. So, yung na mga intersubjective response. So, meaning, we accept the multiple responses, multiple perspective. Okay, multidimensional ang pagsabot, okay, sa usa ka situation. So, if you have your takeaways, you can write it down in your notebook. Okay, you can write 5 takeaways and identify its interesting ideas, and also you can include the difficult part of the discussion. And that covers everything for intersubjectivity. If you have questions, concerns, yes, you can directly message me. And let us proceed to the next topic.